we should tie a string on it and hang it and let them peck at it.
I tried that one before. They don't like broccoli enough to do it.
Oh, really?
They'd have to be really hungry.
What about the geese? Even the geese?
Just toss it over there. The geese probably
I was going to say, I can break it up for him. Who wants broccoli? Oh, yeah. He's like, I will eat that broccoli. I will eat that broccoli.
Where do you think the broccoli went that was in here? They got it. Are you live on YouTube?
I am live. Somebody's out.
Lucy just flew in. I don't know where she was last night, but she just came in for breakfast.
Oh, you should let the other girls out.
Oh, I can run milk now.
Is that delicious broccoli? They're like, it's mediocre broccoli. Here. What do you think, Holiday? You want some broccoli? He's like, no, I don't want none of that crap. I ain't eating broccoli. What do I look like, a goose? Hey, Mr. Pip. You want to check out some broccoli? That's almost as big as you are, man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hey, Mr. Pip. He's like, don't hit me with that. All the geese went over. They all went over here. All right. I need to get a pair of scissors or something to chop this up. I don't want... Let's see, I gotta have something around here I'd cut this up with. Hope everybody's having a nice weekend. This'll work. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it down to reasonable size. Holiday, you don't want this. No, stay back. You don't want this. I don't want you over. The last thing I need is you to try to peck the knife. Psycho, get. I'm working here. Go on, get. Here, look. Do you want this? Here, look. There it is, right there. You can have it. Go back. There we go. Crazy turkey. I'm gonna give this to the geese. What? You don't even like it? You don't even like broccoli? You're a psycho. Hey, soccer legend. Welcome to the live. Can I show you the turkey? Yes, I will show you the turkey. Give me just a second. Throw that for them. Holiday. Someone requested an appearance. This is Holiday. He's my boy. He's in the middle of his molt though, so you can see he's a little bare and his tail feathers are all ratty because he hasn't grown any new tail feathers yet. But that's Holiday. He's a little over 4.5 years old. And he is a very friendly guy. See, he's got missing wing feathers too because he's dropping them. He drops a couple of wing feathers. He'll actually grow in, so he's got some new ones coming in like here, but he'll grow all new wing feathers and tail feathers over the next few weeks. So this is one of the turkeys here. This is a boy. This is a tom. Okay, and then I've got a hen over here somewhere. Let's go find her. Turkey lurkey. Did you? Who is? Oh yeah. So like there's one of Holiday's feathers that he dropped. And this is the female right here. Her name is Lurky Turkey. And she's about 12 years old. Hey lady. How are you? How are you today? Oh, you gonna puff out at me? Oh, you gonna come over here and start talking to me? Oh, that's cool. Well, this is what they look like. The females are much smaller. They puff out like the boys and they will display like the boys, but it's not as common. She's coming over here to talk to me now. Hey girl. Hey, girl. Aren't you the nicest lady? She's actually a little spicy. She's giving me a hard time right now, actually. It's really adorable. She's not really, what you see with Holiday is all fluff. See, she's fluffing out a little bit right now, but Holiday's not fat. What you see, where'd he go? He's displaying his feathers. So all of his feathers are fluffed out right now. Like if I come over here, I can like pull these feathers down and he'll get much more slender, and then he just floofs right back out again. And he's just showing off for me. He always does that. It's just in their nature to show off. Hey, Elizabeth. Yes, Lurky Turkey is the boss. Yes, Lurky Turkey. Well, Lurky Turkey took on a couple of black vultures a few months back. It was kind of funny. I think they were younger vultures because they just were acting very strange. I've never had vultures jump down in the enclosure before. Vultures don't usually go after living prey unless they're desperate. But when they're younger, they're still kind of figuring stuff out. But Lurky did. Lurky chased them off. And then I have a duck that actually beat up a hawk. So that was pretty cool. Why do they have like blush on their heads? So Lurky Turkey is not so much, but you can see that skin under her neck. That's her waddle. And the caruncles are the little bumps on her neck. And that's just, so that actually can show their current mood. So like you see Holiday has a lot more red. Okay, and this is just like how the blood has gone to these parts. But the white areas here can actually turn. You see he's got some blue here. He can turn very blue. His whole head can go white. Like he'll get rid of all the red. And it just has to do with his mood. Like right now, when you see white and blue, it's generally a sign of happiness or content or relaxed. And red can mean either anger or excitement or something like that. And when you see a mix like this, what you're seeing is like an excited happy. That's basically what this is. He's not upset and he's not agitated, but he is excited and he's just displaying. Y'all want to see something adorable that just happened? Check out my new guy. What's up, Pip? This was not planned, but this is my boy. He's new. He's new here on the sanctuary. He just came out of quarantine. Hi, Pip. He lives in the house because he's so small, but he comes out every morning with us now to get some time outside, and we're working on getting him some diapers. And once he has diapers for the house, he'll be able to run around pretty much the whole house. But he just jumped up right up on me. Hey, Pip, you want to come here? Hey, come here. Once I stand up, I don't want you on me when I'm standing up, man. Yes. You are the nice guy. He's such a nice guy. Did you see him jump up on me? Come on. There you go. Mom, Pip just jumped right up on me when I knelt down. Can I have this for a second? I got mud on my hands.
Yeah, we'll call it mud.
Yeah, we'll call it mud. Okay, let me get back to my chat. Pip, I was not expecting that. That was adorable. Thank you, sir.
Someone says she dares you to carry a goose.
You dare me to carry a goose? I do that all the time. You have to get Mom to film it, though. We can do that. You dare me to carry a goose. I see that. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll grab Flip Flop any day. He's my boy. They are kind of heavy, though, and with the current camera rig I have, it would be tough for y'all to see it, but he's my boy. These are the bachelors, and that's India. And then, I don't know where Flip Flop is, but I do need to feed them. Flip Flops is over there. Oh yeah, you can absolutely tell Lil Pip was hand-raised. Oh, Holiday also was hand-raised, though. Holiday was an abandoned egg. He was like 95% done in his egg, and then his nest was abandoned. And so I finished him in an incubator. This was long before we were a sanctuary. We were more of a hobby farm at that time. The main difference for this discussion is that we don't allow animals to hatch anymore because we are a sanctuary. We don't need to. We get plenty of this is our little Pip is our newest intake. We've also had 3 new ducks over the last couple of months come in. We try not to take on too many at a time, but we do, when someone comes along that can fit in with what we already have, although he doesn't really fit in at all, but we're glad to have him because he's so cool.
Well, we had no idea what he was until he showed up.
I know, we didn't. Yeah, someone just said they had a chicken. They had a chicken that needed someplace to go. They thought he was a baby. They didn't realize he was full grown. Elizabeth, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I love doing all the stuff for the animals. I love working with them and helping them. It's most of my day every day these days. I do enjoy it. Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw that post I put a couple of days ago about giving my cockatoos a bath, saying that Cody was going to get me back, and she got me back. I got a pretty gnarly bite from her yesterday. I'm pretty sure that was a revenge bite for giving her a bath. Gang meeting. I love that. I love that. I've never heard anyone say that before, but it's exactly what it's like. It's like a gang meeting. So what's neat about this flock is that they all have their little subgroups too. Like as a whole, they will defend each other and they will act as a single flock. But within the whole large flock of geese, there are these little subgroups that if there's any bickering amongst the geese, they will choose sides and they will always side with their little subgroup. And there's about 4 different little subgroups in here. So there are these little alliances within the larger overall group of geese, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's like a gang meeting. Look, this chicken is staying with me. How awesome is that? Hey, Carrie. Karaoke. Oh, that's cool. I like his screen name. You love how Holiday walks? He kind of huffs and puffs and just kind of struts his stuff and drags his wing feathers on the ground to make like this noise. It's just part of his display. He has very big feet. He's a very strong bird. He probably weighs about 40, 45 pounds if I were to guess. I've never really put him on a scale, but he's a good-sized bird, and luckily he's very friendly. Unless you're a bucket, he likes to attack buckets. How do I call my animals to come to me? You know what? I can call them all day long. Whether they come or not depends on how hungry they are. I mean, I'd like to tell you there's more magic behind it than that, but they all have their different calls. I have a different call for my geese, different call for my chickens. And how well they listen, like I said, really depends on how hungry they are, or they are very motivated to go to bed where they belong when it starts getting dark. Or if there's like a big storm coming in, they know, and they will cooperate usually pretty well going to bed. But like if I was going to try to put everybody to bed right now, I would have to herd them into their enclosures because they know it's daytime. They get on a routine. They are very smart. They can learn a routine. If you do the same thing, you put them in the same place at the same time every day, you almost don't have to tell them to do it. After about a week of doing the same thing over and over again, they will just do it pretty much automatically. Like when I go to put everybody to bed, I have geese that go in this kennel, that kennel, that kennel, and that kennel. So 4 different kennels. And in that kennel, there's actually 2 sections. So really 5 different sections. amongst the 15 geese, and they all know which kennel they belong in. There's actually 2 sections in this one too, so it's actually 6 sections, and they all know where they belong. Now, at first, they all kind of run to all the different kennels because they're looking to try to find any leftover food from the smaller birds from the day. Once they've cleaned all that out, it's funny. They all come back out, and they just kind of all meander around for a couple of minutes, and then they all go back where they belong. It's quite the thing to see, but it's usually very dark by the time I come out here for filming anyway, so I don't usually get that on video. But anyway, let's go over here. Let me do more than just talk. I need to do some helping here, and let's get the geese ready for their food. I need to rinse their bowls out. Get a couple of these bowls. Plus, they might rise up and come get me if I don't feed them. This swimming pool's on its last leg here. We did pick up a new pool the other day that someone donated, but it's got like one of those slides built into it. So I don't know, but this thing's full of holes and cracks and stuff. But it's probably, I need to pull it out of the van. It's probably better than this at this point. I might do that. I might go bring that over here. I think it's in the back of the van right now. So I give these a quick rinse every day, and then every 2 or 3 days I scrub them down. In the summer I gotta like scrub them down all the time, but when it's cool like this, they don't really grow a bunch of bacteria or anything so quick. So just give them a quick rinse. Make sure any old food is out of there. All right. Look at y'all. They called you a gang. I think that's a pretty good description. Oh, this one here. I'm gonna have some, look, you see these plants? These are like pumpkins and butternut squash. I'm gonna have some butternut squash this year, y'all. I love roasted butternut squash. All right, let's see. House tour, a tour of my house. That's the house up there. I actually rent the entire bottom of it out. That's part of how I fund the sanctuary. Is I Airbnb. I have 2 units in the lower level of that house that I rent out. That's how I feed all these guys. How is Elizabeth? Oh, I can show you Elizabeth. Hold on a second. Let me finish rinsing this off. Elizabeth is doing great. Elizabeth and Victoria and Henry all get special care because they're older. They're not, I wouldn't consider them senior citizens yet, but they are definitely not spring chickens. Here she is. It's Elizabeth. Hey, Elizabeth. She's like, don't mess with me, human. You haven't fed me yet. I'm not in the mood. So you can see her wonky wing. Let's see. So this one here is Victoria. And then there's Henry, this guy right there. And then that's Zorro, the one with the painted head. And the one in the front is Flip Flop. And then this is Sunny. This guy right here is Sunny. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, LA girl. What am I doing? I am out here just kind of taking care of the animals on the sanctuary. We're getting ready to give everybody some food and just doing some of the daily maintenance for everyone. Getting some birds moved around and cleaning some cages and enjoying the beautiful weather. But yeah, let me walk up to the van and see about grabbing that other pool because this one is toast. The problem is ever since COVID, these larger plastic pools are almost impossible to find. Like I can find these little ones, which are fine for the smaller ducks and chickens and stuff, but the geese need the bigger ones. And I used to be able to find one of them for like $13 or $14 at Walmart, but ever since COVID came around, Walmart just doesn't stock them anymore, and they're just really hard to find. We actually have a fund going right now. We're about 20%, 25% of the way there. We're trying to buy a large stock tank for the geese. That thing's like $500. But what I do is, whenever someone donates towards that, I just kind of take it and I set it aside for that. We'll get there eventually. So this is a new parking area that my brother-in-law actually came and put in for me. Let's see, we just did an animal feed run too. Oh, so here, you see what I mean? Like, this has this slide built into it, but I think still it might be better than the one they're working with now. It'd be kind of funny, the ducks might love it. But let's go take it over and put it in for the geese and see how they do with it today. Why does the behind the geese look like World War II trenches? Well, so this area, hold on, let me get down here. So we've been working to reclaim this old barn that I put up like 20 years ago and kind of got overgrown because I didn't use it for a long time. And so we've been clearing this area out. And we also had what's called a microburst, which is just a very violent windy storm that doesn't last very long. But you see my trees up there, they all broke off at the top. It was a very violent storm and this was a couple months ago, I guess. And so that's why it looks so rough, because that's just an upside down tree there. And tree work is very expensive to get done. So it's gonna, this was actually an area that I used. I would go down there. That's how I got to my emu enclosure. I can't get through there anymore. But I have an alternate way to get to the emus down there. And so I just don't use this area. And then this is scrap metal. I know it looks like a heap of junk, but we recycle. And so this is all old fencing and old cage material that was either damaged in the storm or rusted out and is no good anymore. And so what that is that will all get to be recycled. But I have to rely on volunteers to help me with that kind of work because it is a lot of work. And so, I have a few volunteer days throughout the year. And when I get a volunteer day together, we even have a local company that will donate dumpsters and stuff. And we get the property kind of cleared up and cleaned up. And then the vines are really cool. These are all volunteer, like squash and pumpkin plants that grew on their own. We feed the birds scraps, and they eat the scraps, and then they go to the bathroom and it washes down there and it just kind of grows. So that's why it looks crazy. I mean, it is a work in progress. There's the old barn, and we're going to my brother-in-law actually owns a lumber mill, so we're going to mill some lumber and replace all of the lumber on the outside of the barn. The roof is good, the framing is good, but it needs new doors and new siding. So it's just kind of like a work in progress. I know it looks a little chaotic, but when you run a nonprofit and you have limited funding, stuff just kind of has to get done as it can get done. It's not like I can just snap my fingers and write a check and it gets done. Most months, we don't even get enough donations to cover basic feed and straw and stuff like that, and I end up making it up on my own. So having extra money left over for this stuff is not something that happens often. Okay. So I need to put the roosters out. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to decide, do what? I mean, you could blow dry them, but whatever. Who? Oh, Pip. Yeah. I think this pool will be okay. I don't think it's got a lot of room in it because of this weird slide thing, but yeah, it's better than nothing. It's better than this thing. This thing is toast. I would have thrown that away months ago. You just can't find them though. It's like we've tried a couple of different kinds of pools and they're just not working. And it's hard. The only decent solution is an expensive one. So that's why we're saving up for that. What's up, Mr. Pip? What's up, Mr. Pip? How you doing, sir? How you doing? What are you doing there, huh? What are you doing there? Huh? Hi, Mr. Pip. You're just a nice guy. You're a nice guy here. There you go. Come here. You don't need to be up there. Isn't he adorable? He's so tiny. So tiny. None of the girls like him. That's normal. It's not because he's small. It's because he's new. He's a new guy. They were all fighting with him. It was kind of funny. They were trying to get you, weren't they? He's like, yeah, they weren't playing with me. He's like, I'm a people. I'm not a chicken. I'm a people. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Yes. All right, here. Going down here. Let's see. What nation am I in? I'm in the USA. We're in Maryland, which is about halfway down the east coast of the United States. We live about an hour, 50 minutes maybe south of Washington, D.C. All right, let's get some goose food. Let's feed some geese. This is goose food that we make up every night, and it soaks overnight. It is, now we don't have any fields of grass. We don't have enough sunny area to maintain grass. If you've got grass on your property, you really don't have to do what I'm doing here, but this is grass pellets that people get for their horses that also don't have grass. And we just soak them overnight and we mix it with a fermented corn feed that has other types of grains in there as well. But that's what I feed the geese. Hey, Justin. Welcome to the live. Thank you, PA. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that too. Yeah, likes do help. Doing these live streams and making all the videos gains exposure for the sanctuary. And so the more exposure we get, the better. Look, I got the snacks over here, you guys. Look at you, goofball. Look at you with the feather. With the feather. You got a feather stuck on your beak, man. Hey, Tiffany. Welcome to the live. Glad you were able to catch us. Where is the new duck? Oh, we can go see the new ducks. Let me finish feeding the geese and we'll go see them. They're actually over there raising heck right now. We're trying to integrate them because we got three new ducks over the last couple of months, and two of them came together and then another one came like a month later. And so we're trying to get all three of them to kind of integrate. It's not going well. I mean, no one's been hurt or anything, but they're just, the two older ducks are not accepting the younger duck. But we're going to keep working with them and figuring it out. It just takes time and patience and persistence. Hey, Mr. Pip. All right, let me get this here. This is the other ingredient for the goose soup. I make goose soup every morning for the geese. You thought it was poop. Okay. So this is just the rinse water from the ferment, and it's full of good, healthy bacteria. And the geese love it. Hi, Pumpkin. This is Pumpkin. Hi, Pumpkin. Well, you guys sure are not acting like you're starving or nothing today. Goose soup. Oh, we'll just give them this here. This is the extra corn. Everyone's gonna love that. Flip flop. You better get it, Flip flop. He's like, oh yeah, those are the good snacks. What's going on, Flip flop? What's going on, Flip flop? Hi, Flip flop. He's like, you gave me these snacks. Flip flop. How you doing? How you doing, bud? Such a handsome guy. Such a handsome boy. Yes, sir, that's my boy. That's my boy. You're beautiful, Flip flop. Those good snacks? All right. All right, let's go see some ducks. You feed your swan kibble, but she eats a lot of grass. Yeah, I wish I had areas for them to graze in, and I tried for a long time to manage that, but they would just tear it up in a day. Like I would have it growing for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden they'd get one day with it and it would just be dirt. Because I just don't have enough space for that. Let's see. So, a few things we're working on here. Hello, everyone. Hello. So these are two older girls that we put in here to try to break up the hierarchy, the pecking order. Because this is Clyde, and this is Bonnie, and they are picking on Little Miss Peach. This is Little Miss Peach over here. Now, Little Miss Peach will not stay in this small cage all day. Little Miss Peach is over here with special food and water to make sure she has access to that and she has a chance to eat without the others bullying her. And so after she's been in that little cage with her food for an hour or so, we'll let her out with everyone else. And then we'll do the same thing in the evening so she gets a dedicated chance to eat a couple times a day. What is up, Rosemary? What is up, Rosemary? You're so vocal. So vocal today. But that's Bonnie. She's adorable. What's up, Clyde? Oh, it's windy today, y'all. What's up, Clyde? I love swans, though. And mealworms, yeah. The ducks love mealworms. They get mealworms a couple times a week. Well, actually, they're not mealworms. They're technically called black soldier fly larvae, but you get the gist. They're delicious bugs for them. Oh, be careful driving. Gang meetings more important than food. This one right here, this is Sage. Hi, Sage. Sage is a very nice duck. She's a nice duck. So these are the ducks, and then this big boy over here is Blue. This beast. He's a big guy. He's our last Pekin duck. All right, I'm jumping out of here. Bungee this closed. We can say hi to Blue real quick. Hey, Blue, how you doing, big boy? How you doing, big guy? Huh? I don't know where they're at where Mom was at in the cycle of letting everyone out. I don't know if he's been out yet or not. But he's a really nice bird. Very friendly. But I need to grab their food and start feeding everybody. Elizabeth, thank you so much for that comment. I appreciate you. Oh, here's Cookie too. I haven't put Cookie out either. Well, we'll have to do Cookie when Mom gets back out because he needs his little nub protector. But anyway, let me go ahead and just start making some progress here and feeding the roosters and getting them out. I'm running a little bit behind schedule. So this is just their regular food that I get from the local market, and we just soak it for 3 days and it ferments. All right, so 2 scoops for this cage. I don't know who I'm gonna put in there yet. Maybe Big Bird or something, and then Onyx doesn't eat as much. We'll put Onyx over here. What's up, Mr. Pip? How are you, sir? You having a good day, Mr. Pip? He's just excited to be outside. All new birds that come to the sanctuary go through a quarantine period where they're pretty isolated. I mean, we give them attention, but they don't have access to any other animals or not much in the way of outside time. But once that's over, they're really excited to be out. All right, let's go grab Onyx real quick. Holiday, are you stalking me, man? Are you stalking me? As y'all can imagine, it takes me a really long time to take care of everybody because it's just visiting all day. What's up, Holiday? You're just the handsomest guy. Okay, Soccer. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Oh, Blue has been out. He had a good swim. That's good. That's good. All right. I'm going to grab this guy right here. This is Onyx. Hey, Onyx. Come here, big boy. Oh. Yes, I know. You're such a handsome bird. Such a gorgeous rooster. Look at how much bigger Onyx is than Mr. Pip. Give you an idea. I don't really want to let him go right next to each other, but Mr. Pip is like maybe 1/10 of the size of Onyx. And Onyx isn't even a big rooster. That's just how tiny Pip is, which is why he can't really be left out unsupervised. Good morning, Danielle. Oh, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning in the Philippines. Okay, cool. Cool. I don't know. Oh, so you're pretty much 12 hours, I guess maybe ahead of us or behind us. I don't know. You're exactly 12 hours out, though. Come here, buddy. This is Big Bird. Big Bird is a shelter rooster. He came from an animal shelter. He had been abandoned. He's a really nice bird. He's very friendly towards the humans. Look at the size. I can't get it. Like Mr. Pip's running. Mr. Pip's like, I'm out. I ain't about to mess with that guy. Big Bird's actually one of our smallest roosters. Yes, sir, you got those delicious snacks. Where did I put it over here. 6 p.m. in the UK. Oh yeah, so y'all are ahead of us by 5 hours. I'm not in there yet. Okay, so I got a food bowl right here. I wish YouTube would let me use my wide angle lens because then y'all could see a lot better. Like, you know how the iPhone has that wide angle lens or whatever? I use that a lot. I actually did yesterday. I filmed my whole routine out here, and it's like a good night. I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes long, and I uploaded it to YouTube, but I haven't made it public yet because I haven't finished putting in the description and all, but that will be there for anyone who likes to watch that stuff. And that one I filmed, I'm pretty sure that's filmed vertically. I can't remember if I filmed that vertically or horizontal. I don't know. But anyway, that will be available to everyone soon. And that actually, that one's going to be fun because that was Mr. Pip's first day outside. So he got introduced to everyone. There was a lot going on in that video. So that'll be really fun once I release that. I'll probably do that this afternoon or this evening. Okay, Rudy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is a very friendly bird. He's very nice. He also was very excited to get down and get his breakfast. All right, I feel like I want to put some straw down in this cage. It's a little wet. How is everything today? Everything's really nice today. The weather's beautiful here, which is a rarity. It's usually very humid or raining, but it's just a gorgeous day today. And everybody's doing all right. Everybody doing pretty good. All right, now we can feed Friendly. Give him a couple of, got a piece of straw stuck on my Band-Aid, hold on. This bite was from a cockatoo, and like 12 hours later, it was still bleeding. I'm pretty sure it should have had a stitch, at least one stitch in it. It was pretty gnarly. Like, it took, actually, I don't even know if it's, I'm hoping it's done bleeding by now, but it was very deep. All right. I just wrapped it really tight with a Band-Aid. I think I finally got it to stop bleeding. Come on, Friendly. This guy is so nice. Not as nice as Rudy. He's not as friendly as Rudy, which is kind of funny given his name. Look, you see that little posturing he does? This little dance? He never acts on it, but it is a kind of a threatening thing, but he never does anything. It never amounts to anything. He just does that little charging dance. It's so adorable. He was hand raised. He's just a little spicy is all. He's like, so I rate my roosters on a sugar and spice scale. That's how I rate them. So I'll be like, you know, Friendly's like 85% sugar, 15% spice, you know, and Rudy is 100% sugar. Onyx is also 100% sugar. There's Barbie. Hi, Barbie. I've never been to the UK. I almost had a chance to go there for work once, but the job fell through, so I didn't get to go. I've never been out of the country. It's kind of sad. I got a passport and it expired before I got any stamps in it. And now my lifestyle has just changed so much that I can't even imagine leaving here for that long enough to get out of the country. All right, let's go feed Clucky Cheese. This is Clucky Cheese we're gonna go feed. This is a shelter rooster. He was full grown when we got him. Clucky is about 70% sugar and 30% spice. He's pretty nice most of the time, but he'll attack the spoon sometimes. He's a sneak attacker. He'll sneak attack the people. But as you see, I'm just here with him. I'm not really worried about him. So he's not overly aggressive. He's right in the middle there. He's a beautiful bird. But, you know, with a shelter rooster especially, you don't know. You know, roosters are typically pretty neglected or abused, poorly treated in our society, unfortunately. And so you never know what he's been through. Oh my goodness, Marmalade. So I always try to keep that in mind with these birds. You know, they might be aggressive towards me, but I don't know what the person before me did to them. So this is just an egg that's in here. All of the eggs that are laid on the sanctuary get fed back to the birds. Now, Marmalade is always trying to attack me. I don't know what his deal is, but he acts more like a rooster than a guinea fowl. He's pretty crazy. What kind of chicken is Pip? Pip is, I don't know the specific breed, but chicken is a bantam. It's like a class or whatever. He's a bantam rooster. Bantam chickens are all very tiny. They're just very tiny. They're like miniature chickens. I don't know exactly what his breed is. I don't have a ton of experience with bantams. He's only the second bantam rooster I've ever had. He's pretty cool. But so because it's very rare for me to get something like him, I don't have anything set up for him. Like if he was a normal rooster, it would be no big deal. I could just put him in another cage, but like he can fit through most of the enclosures I have. And most of the, he can't really stand up for himself. I can't leave him unattended with any of the birds because if they decide to go after him, he doesn't really have a great way to defend himself and he can't really get away. And I don't have another flock of these bantams to put him with. So he's going to be a human. He will probably spend most of his time with the people. We've ordered some diapers for him. We got some diapers on the way. And actually, one of our friends, I'm going to make a video about it when we get him. But one of our friends that runs another sanctuary, she makes them. And she's going to send him a diaper. And that will make his life much better because he'll be able to run around inside. That will be really cool. And I don't mind it at all. He'll have a nighttime enclosure where he gets put up at night. And then during the day, he'll just be able to run around the house. Oh, this is Karen. There's Karen right there. She's even got that Karen haircut. Look at the floofy haircut. She's really pretty. Big Bird is a beautiful color. Yes, I love Big Bird. He's got very similar colorings to Pip. All right, so where was I? I got all of them out. Foghorn's in house. We need to let Milkshake out, and I think Fancy's probably already out. Is Fancy in here? No. So I need to figure out where Fancy is. Oh, you know what? I'm wondering if Fancy's up and Foghorn was out all day. No, that's not the case either. All right, well, I have to figure out where Fancy is so I can feed him. I wonder if he's just out, which would be funny because Pip is out. Did I miss him? Is he in the triangle? No. Oh, I wonder if he's in the wood cage. Yes, he is in the wood cage. And he's already been fed. He's got you see, he's got bugs. This is my oldest rooster. He's very old. So he gets separated from everyone except he gets to stay with the hens at night. But I don't know how much longer he's going to be around. He's pretty old. He's a really nice guy though. But he's one of the birds here that gets special care. So he's already fed. So I just need to set up a place for Milkshake, and I think Milkshake can go in the triangle today. We'll put Milkshake in the triangle. I don't know what Guinea, oh, it's just Anthony that's out today. So I could let you know what, I don't know, maybe we'll let Foghorn out. I don't know, we'll see if he gets dried off inside or not. It's a little chilly. Oh wait, that's way too much food for Milkshake. What am I doing? Okay. That's enough. Milkshake does not need a lot of food. He is a small bird. $3 a.m. in Australia. That's so cool. Australia was on my list of places I kind of wanted to see at some point in my life. All right. Hey, Milkshake. Come here, big boy. Oh, you're so nice. Milkshake actually got a sponsor. Milkshake, one of our long-term followers and friends of the sanctuary sponsored Milkshake the other day over on our Patreon. So now she contributes monthly and takes care of his feed and his straw costs, which is very nice. Here you go, Mr. Milkshake. Milkshake is a silky rooster. He is a nice bird. He's a very nice bird. He's like one of those 90% sugar, 10% spice guys. What's funny is even when he decides to be spicy, which is very rare, he can't do anything. He doesn't have any spurs, and he's really tiny, but that doesn't stop him from trying. But he has very soft feathers. It's almost like hair, and he has extra toes on each foot. He's also a great rooster you can leave with your hens all the time, even if you don't have a lot of hens, because he doesn't have any spurs, and he's so small, he doesn't injure them or anything like that. Like the larger roosters can injure the hens if they're given too much access. All right, so everyone in here is done. I hear you, Clucky boy. So these guinea birds need some food, I think. Yep, let's give these guinea birds some food. Three guinea birds, 3 scoops. This is how one of our cost-saving endeavors on the sanctuary is we use this portioning spoon. We've probably reduced our feed costs by around 10 to 15%, give or take, just by reducing food waste, which is nice. It's especially helpful when you have volunteers that are younger and are not as good at estimating. Like I've got nieces and nephews that come over. Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. I don't know what that was about, but she freaked out. But when you have younger volunteers, like I got nieces and nephews, and when they come over, some of them are like, 7, 8 years old, and it's easy to just tell them, hey, give them 3 scoops or 2 scoops. And then that takes the need for them to guess how much food or estimate, gets rid of that. AZ time zone. Are you you mean Arizona? Isn't Arizona that state that doesn't observe daylight savings? I don't know. I wish we didn't observe daylight savings. I wish it just stayed on summertime all year long. I have such an issue with seasonal depression. I hate it when the sun starts going down in the winter. I have such a hard time with that. I get so much anxiety when the sun starts going down in the wintertime. Whoever moves first will lose their channel. All right. So you guys need some straw. Okay, well, here's your food, and I'll get you some straw. Yes, Cookie. Well, we got to wait on that mom to come out to put you out. She's in there taking care of Foghorn. He needed some TLC. What was I doing? Oh, getting some straw. What's up, Barbie? Barbie's like, I'm eating these delicious scraps. I actually grow. You see all that growing there? Those are all plants I grow mostly for the birds. I do vegetable gardening, and of course I eat some of it myself, but probably 70% of the stuff I produce goes to the birds. Because it's cheap food and it's excellent snacks. Like, I couldn't afford to go to the grocery store and buy tomatoes for these guys, but I can certainly plant some tomato plants, and give them tomatoes off of that. And they love tomatoes. All right, look at this. This is a guinea fowl egg that I just found. And so I will break that open for them and then crush the eggshell up here. Because the hens, well, there's only one hen in here. This dark one is a hen. The hens will eat the shell to help replace their calcium. And then these 2 white ones are males. And now I got to go rinse all the egg off of my hand. So eventually, this fence that's here will get moved back to include the barn. But my brother, I need my brother-in-law's help for most of that. And he spent the better part of a week over here last month with a lot of his machinery. He's got like excavators and large tractors and stuff. And he doesn't charge me anything. Like, he won't even take money for gas half of the time. And so it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, that's, It's essentially him volunteering for the sanctuary, but in a very big way. And his whole family was over here. My sister was here, the kids were here, and everybody was kind of helping out in their own way. But it did a lot for the sanctuary over the last month. And it's just been really great. 9 in Dubai. Holy guacamole. We got people. I'm so glad y'all are shouting this stuff out, because otherwise I wouldn't realize how wide of a reach this channel has. You know, you kind of get in your own little bubble and you figure most people are from relatively close by, but we've got people in the UK and Australia and the Philippines and Dubai. And that's just so cool. All right, soccer legend. Well, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Oh, wow. I'm way behind on my comments. We got Oregon here. I almost visited Oregon back in 2012. The plans fell through, but I almost did. I was in California. I had to fly out to California to pick up a large piece of equipment, but I was also buying a truck. And California charges sales tax on vehicles, which would have been higher, I believe, than my Maryland sales tax. And so what I was going to do is I was going to buy the truck in Oregon. And I still would have had to pay sales tax, but if I had bought the truck in Oregon, I would have had to pay Maryland sales tax. And so that's what I was going to do, but then the piece of equipment wasn't ready in time, and it kind of all fell through, and I ended up buying the truck here in Maryland. But the plan was to buy it in Oregon, drive to California, pick up the equipment, and then drive back to Maryland. That was going to be quite an epic road trip, but yeah, that plan fell through. Danielle, you love Friendly. Yes, he is very pretty. I love Friendly too. Friendly was hand-raised. Rudy was also hand-raised. Oh, you know what? I have to feed Blue still. That's who I need to feed. But he's a golden, he's very, very gold. He's absolutely gorgeous. His feathers in the sunlight just shine so nice. But he's what's considered a buff is his breed, like a buff Cochin, I think, or something like that. I just know he's a buff. Rudy is a Rhode Island Red. Rudy's also very beautiful. He's a gorgeous maroon color. And he has, not always easy to tell, but his tail feathers have this iridescence, and they actually have a green hue to them in the summertime. You know, when the sun is shining. He's actually a very beautiful bird. And he is the nicest temperament rooster. I mean, so he's nice. And like, I have other roosters that are just as nice as him, but Rudy actually hugs me. It's the funniest thing. When I pick him up, he takes and puts his neck and wraps his neck around my neck. And nobody else really does that. And so Rudy gets extra brownie points for that. Look, Holiday's over there just kind of hanging out with Big Bird. What's going on, Holiday? Elizabeth says she raised her swan from day one. And he's like Holiday. Oh, yeah, she's a pet. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so jealous, Elizabeth. She sleeps on a pallet, a mat on the floor next to your bed. That's so awesome. I'm so jealous. Like, I have all of these beautiful animals and I love them all. But like, my dream animal to have, I have two. When I say dream animal, I mean like realistic opportunity, right? Not like if I could have any animal in the world, but like something I could actually see happening would be a swan, number one, and an ostrich, number two. Now, on the unrealistic side, I would also love to have flamingos. And I don't want to say that's an impossibility, but I don't really know enough about them, but they definitely are. I'm pretty sure they would require some kind of special licensing, if nothing else. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I've got my hands full with everybody here. I would have swan, but I don't have any water for them. I don't have any place for them to enjoy the water. And that's a very large bird that likes to spend a lot of time in the water. Now, if somebody brought me a swan, I'd have to figure something out. I don't know what, but I would have to figure something out. But I'm not looking for anybody right now. All right. Oh, you know what? I have to feed Bert and Ernie and Puddles and give them straw. Let's do straw first. We'll do straw first. and then we'll feed them. Put that up there. Yeah, hand reared are absolutely, they're different animals for sure. Oh yeah, because like all of my hens are really nice, but none of them want me to touch them except Cupcake. And Cupcake has just had a lot more hands-on time with us, and that's why she's so much friendlier. Hey boys. Yeah, y'all need some straw. It's wet in here. Because those geese make a lot of mess, don't they? They are messy birds. So I just sprinkle fresh straw for them every day, just so their little flappers have a chance to dry. Their little flapper feet, if they stay wet all the time, they're prone, like then it's not so much that if they stay wet, but if they get like even the smallest injury and it doesn't have a chance to dry out, all that bacteria can get in there. And then you have foot issues, and you don't want to have to deal with foot issues. Those are very, very difficult to take care of in birds, because infection in birds like that is very different. They formed this very thick pus that's like cottage cheese, and so it doesn't just like drain out of an infected wound or something like that. It just stays there, and it has to be manually removed. And that's why Cookie only has one leg, the rooster, Cookie, because he got a bad infection, and despite multiple operations, we were not able to save his leg. I'll show y'all Cookie as soon as Mom gets out here, and we can put his leg protector, his nub, call it his nub protector on. But Cookie was a feed store surrender. Cookie was hand reared here, and he's a very nice guy. All right, here you go, boys. So this is Puddles. Puddles was dumped at an animal shelter. And then this is Ernie right here. And then this is Bert. And so Bert and Ernie came from a local daycare facility that were trying to raise them, but they were located in an HOA, and people complained, which is hilarious because these guys don't make any noise. But people complain just out of like, oh, you have to follow the rules. You have to follow. They don't make any noise. They're not a nuisance or a bother to anyone, but people complained. I just don't know what to say about some people. But anyway, we were happy to give them sanctuary here, and they're very nice birds. Puddles, you're cute. You know you're cute. Yes, you are cute. And so thankfully, Bert and Ernie seem to have accepted Puddles pretty well. Even though he's the biggest guy, he's the low man on the totem pole as far as pecking order goes. However, nobody really picks on him too much, and so they do pretty well. They do pretty well together. Okay, boys. Oh, and then let's go feed Blue. I keep saying I'm gonna feed Blue. Hey, Pip, are you stalking me, Pip? He's like, I'm just making sure you stay close. Mr. Pip. I really like that rooster a lot. You always thought the guinea fowl looked like clowns. Yeah, I call them clown chickens. This is Anthony right here. He's got a scratch on his face. It's not bad, it's superficial. Who knows what, it's probably from fighting with the other guinea fowl. But his name is Anthony. He's named after Anthony Hopkins. And he's a pretty cool guy. But they do look goofy. So the males have these really flared out cheek flaps. And the females have cheek flaps too, but they're not as big or as red. Also, what's neat about the guinea fowl is the males and females have different calls. They make different noises. So you can tell who's a male and who's a female just by the noise that they make. Hey, Blue. How's my guy? How's my guy? Such a handsome duck. You are just the handsomest duck in town. You're a big guy, so you get 2 full scoops. You get 2 scoops because you a biggin. You a big boy. He's like, I see that food. I'm waiting for you to leave, human. This is the only rooster on the sanctuary that I would say is 99% spice. I don't know who I'm kidding. He's 100% spice. This is Picasso. Picasso is a shelter rooster. Picasso will try to kill you at any chance he gets. There isn't a nice bone in his body, but you never know what kind of abuse and neglect and mistreatment he experienced. As a rooster, he was full grown and quite, he's fairly old. I don't want to say he's ancient, but he's got some age on him. And so we just don't know what he's gone through in life. So he's just one of these birds that you have to use a lot of special care when you go into his enclosure, and just be very careful when handling him because he can do a lot of damage. Hey, you ready to do cookie? Uh-oh.
They're not being bad though. They're just kind of squaring off. It's kind of funny.
I don't think that would work out in Pip's favor.
Pip is the one that's being the most aggressive.
Well, I know. I'm just saying he's going to get put in his place.
He definitely has little dog syndrome.
Holiday, are you coming over to referee? Pip's like, nope, that's it. Anthony's like, I ain't messing with that little thing. He's a nugget.
He is a little nugget. Hello, Pip. I left Foghorn inside. He was shivering, so I just gave him a nice warm spot. Oh, hello, little pepperoo. Little pepperoony.
This is just the most friendly. He's like a dog. He's basically, he was supposed to go into a dog's, he was supposed to get put in a dog's body, but somebody messed up and put him in a chicken's body. You love Karen. So, yes, Pip. So we actually have two Karens here on the sanctuary and they're identical. PA says Milkshake's feathers look like hair. Yeah, he does. He looks looks like hair. I'm sorry, you said what now? Oh yeah, I will. Okay, let me put food in his bowl real quick. We're getting ready to do cookie. A little bit more. That's enough. That's enough for Cookie Monster. And then I'll put a little bit of straw down for him. It's not bad in there, but with Cookie, I'm extra careful. Extra careful. Make sure that he's always on very clean bedding. Because if he were to get an injury on that foot, we want to make sure that it's at least he's on clean bedding, so it's less likely to have an infection or something. Hey, Eva. Welcome to the live. Hey, Lori. Oh, we got Pennsylvania in the house. Oh, you're not that far from us. That's actually, we actually, one of our favorite vets is in Pennsylvania. We take Cookie Monster right here all the way out to Pennsylvania if he needs any care. Come on, Cookie. Okay. You want to hold and I'll put this on him? So like this. All right, so this is Cookie's nub. It looks good. This little speck at the end is actually a feather. It's like a feather that tries to grow and never does. We thought he had a splinter at first. And so this is a little silicone sleeve that we put on there. And it does two things. Is that good? I think that's good. It protects and provides cushion for his nub. So if he wants to take a rest and kneel down, you want me to try again, or is it good?
Well, it's twisted underneath there.
All right, well, hold on. I'll just try again. Sometimes it takes 2 tries.
Okay, that's better.
There we go. Yeah, I like that better. And then the other thing it does is it acts as a compression sleeve and keeps fluid from building up in there. But he does really well. He does really well as a one-legged rooster. That other leg just got really strong. I mean, at first it was difficult for him, but it's gotten really strong, and he's able to get around really well. He is nervous about Holiday, though, as you can see. He's keeping an eye on Holiday. Holiday, don't be a menace. You know what? Actually, Holiday, now's a good time for you to go over with the geese. Let's go put you over with the geese. Eva, do you not hear? Are you not able to hear the audio, I guess, maybe? I don't know. She asked why no one's talking. Danielle says from Philly originally, and the West Coast absolutely helped that. Oh, you had, okay, so like the seasonal depression issues and all. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we're global, Elizabeth. I'm trying to catch up with my comments. Such a cute, tiny little egg. Yeah, the guinea fowl. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, we're working with Pip, teaching him to jump up on command, and he just did.
He just jumped right up and then he announced himself.
Oh, yes, Mr. Pip. Oh, Tiffany's from Cincinnati, Ohio. I've driven through Ohio a couple of times. I had to drive out to Detroit once.
I think that's from you.
What? Oh, a peck?
No, it's a scratch.
Oh, a scratch.
Razor blades, man.
Why is the chicken dancing in the cage? I don't know. They all have their own little displays. All right, I need to walk around and make sure everybody's got food. They've got food. You love how Holiday's in every camera angle. Yeah, Holiday is a stalker. I mean, I just put him over. That's Holiday spends the day over with the larger birds because he's a larger bird. But yeah, when he's over here, he will be under my feet the whole time. All right, so Clucky's got food. Cookie is not up yet, but he has food. Marmalade and Speck have food. Hey, Marmalade. Your straw's borderline. I'll give you fresh straw tonight. You don't need it right now. It's not that bad. Hi, Marmalade. Well, we're done out here, right? Is everything done? Yeah. Yeah, I'll just take. I'll take care of it.
I'm gonna go get his pin cleaner from there.
Get the turkey to gobble. What, Ma? Oh, little Mr. Pip going with you? Oh yeah, he is. He's coming with you. He's like, okay, let's go. Let's go. I'll see y'all. Look at him. Isn't that adorable? I'm telling y'all, that is someone messed up at the Spirit Factory and put the dog in the chicken body. How adorable is that? He absolutely thinks he's a people. He's like, okay, Mom, let's go. I'm ready to go. Oh, man, that's adorable. I'm going to have to grab that clip from the live or something. Get the turkey to gobble. You know what happens when I try to get him to gobble? Is I end up looking like an idiot gobbling and he doesn't answer me. That's why I don't usually do it. But we can try. We can try, but be prepared because you're probably just going to hear some idiot gobbling into the camera and Holiday leaving me hanging. All right. Blue's got food. Picasso has food. These guys all have food. Looks like she might have eaten. Oh, look, he just gobbled. I didn't even have to ask him to. I don't know if I can get another one out of him. Let's try. There you go. You can see it. You probably can't hear it over me, though. Holiday. Holiday. See, now he's done. He's like, no, you only get 2 gobbles. The other Tom I used to have that passed away from old age, he was a really good gobbler. Holiday doesn't gobble as much. Holiday. Gobble, 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 gobble. There you go. But you can just see it because he starts gobbling before I'm done. So you can't really hear it. Arthritis. Oh, castor oil is good for arthritis on the birds and injuries too. That's cool. I've never used castor oil on the birds. I got a ton of it though. Oh, that's right. I was walking around making sure everybody had food. And I got to make sure I put Cookie up. I cannot leave Cookie out here. Although he'd probably be fine. He's under the wood cage right now. I don't know what he's trying to do. But there's not really anybody out here that's going to give him a hard time today. Okay, so he's got food. Oh, you know what? Did anyone give? So the chickens have some food there. I need to make sure that all the chickens that are out in the main area have enough food. Hey, Turkey Lurkey. How you doing, lady? She's like, this is my hangout right now. She spends a lot of time in there. I guess she just likes it. Hey, Fancy. How you doing, old boy? I want to check his ears. Let me see. We'll do that later. I'm not going to harass him right now. He's resting comfortably. But I do want to make sure his ears are clear. He's an old man. All right, guinea birds have food. Other guinea birds have food. Onyx has food. Geese have food. Everybody's been fed. I think I'm going to put a little extra out for the main chickens in the main area. Got some food there. I like to spread the food around. Kind of make sure that nobody gets nobody's really able to dominate the food supply. So I'm just topping off these bowls from earlier. That's water. And put a little bit in here. There we go. Hey, Turkey Lurkey. Hey, pretty girl. How are you? She's like, I'm coming to inspect your offering, human. Yeah, Elizabeth, that's what I figure. That's why Picasso's so spicy. He probably did have some kind of trauma. Yeah, Holiday and Pip are pretty adorable. This girl right here is talking trash right now. She's trash talking me. So to go to your comment there, Elizabeth, with people not thinking that animals can suffer trauma, I'm right there with you. Like, animals they don't have the same emotions we do, but they do have similar emotions and an array of emotions. You know, they mourn, they grieve, they miss their flock. They can be traumatized. Their behavior can be permanently altered through a traumatic event. So, like, I'll give you, for example, Blue. We just lost 2 days ago, two or 3 days ago. What's up? I guess 3 days ago now, we lost Blue's last flock mate. Rebel Duck had bone cancer, and she finally got to the point where we were not able to manage her pain. We actually were able to manage her pain with medication for about a year. So she got a year of extra life. But just recently she started going downhill, and we weren't going to let her suffer. Oh, you are some noisy ducks. And so we had to put Rebel Duck down on Wednesday or Thursday or Wednesday. I don't remember which day it was. And so Blue, when he comes out in the morning now, he goes and looks for her at every kennel. He stops at every kennel. He walks out here, and then he goes all the way down this side and goes all the way down this side, and he keeps looking for her. And then what he does when he's done and he doesn't find her is sometimes he'll go and he'll just sit on the outside of her cage waiting for her. So he still misses his girl. It's heartbreaking because I don't have any other ladies for him. And we haven't yet figured out what we're going to do with him. I mean, he'll, of course, have a safe place here. But he needs more than just that. He needs companionship and a social structure in order to be happy. So he's too big to put in with some of the other female ducks we have. He's just a very large bird, and he would injure the girls. We're toying with the idea of trying to integrate him in with Puddles and Bert and Ernie. They've kind of been adversaries forever, but I think now that Blue doesn't have any females to protect, that they might get along. And so that might be something we try in the near future. Hopefully. Hopefully we're able to integrate him, though. Mr. Pip is adorable. Yeah, Rebel broke my heart. But it happens. And what's sad is she actually passed away 2 months to the day, exactly 2 months after her sister passed away. It was a weird thing with her sister. Her sister had ascites, which is water accumulation in the abdomen. And we had taken her to the vet, and the vet said there wasn't much anything they could do. And we drained it several times, but she lived for several years like that. And she did really well. And then the day she passed away, she was fine in the morning. Like, there were no signs. She was active. She took a good bath. She had a good meal. I mean, really, it was the best possible scenario because she just went downhill very fast. We came out in the evening to put everybody to bed, and she had kind of isolated herself into a carrier that was on the ground, and she wouldn't come out. And we realized she wasn't feeling well. We took her inside and we gave her a nice warm soak to try to relax her and gave her some pain meds to make sure she wasn't in any pain. And within a couple hours, she just passed away. And so it was very sudden and unexpected, but that was a great way for her to go because she didn't linger and she didn't suffer and she had a great last day. But Rebel needed a little help. And so we had to take her to the vet and have her put to sleep. And so one of the things that we do, this is not always a fun subject, but one of the things we do with all of our birds, you know, with a dog or a cat, the vet can euthanize that animal in the room with you. And so you can be with them right up until the end, which is important. It's very hard for the person, but I think it's very important for the animal. You know, you don't want their last moments on earth to be alone or abandoned or, frightening. But with birds, you can't do that. It's not even technically legal because the method they used for a bird is they actually use a gas. And so we actually pay extra. And what we do is we have the birds sedated first instead of just gassing them. We pay extra and have them sedated in our arms. And so when the vet takes the bird from us, the bird is unconscious. So the last experience the bird has is time in our arms. And they just kind of relax and go to sleep. And then that's it from their perspective. And that's what we do with all of the birds that need help transitioning and moving on. It's absolutely the hardest and most horrible thing that we have to do. It's never an easy decision to make, and I always second guess myself when we do, even after the fact. But I know that it is also one of the most compassionate and generous things we can do for them. Because bone cancer, like Rebel had, is very painful. And so when it gets to the point where I can't manage her pain anymore with pain medication, if we weren't able to euthanize them, it would be a very drawn out and painful death. And ultimately, the pain, they probably would not necessarily pass away from the bone cancer, but actually the strain and stress on like their heart from all the pain. But anyway, that's enough about that subject. That's the suckiest part about running a sanctuary. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate your comments. A new pal might come along for Blue. Yeah, I'm not really looking to take on any more ducks, but if somebody came knocking on my door with a couple of Pekin ducks, I think I'd have to agree to take them on just for Blue. He's such a sweet boy, and I hate to see him alone. Look at this. This is Smokey right here. What's up, Smoke? What's up, Smoke? Smoke was supposed to be a feral. You gonna come see me or not? So Smokey I was told he was completely feral. And after a few months of working with him, this is how far we've gotten. He lets me pet him. Well, I mean, he's been here for over a year, but after I worked with him for a few months, he let me start petting him. He's a really nice guy. I went to the animal shelter and I said, I need a couple of cats that you're never going to adopt out, that no one's ever going to take. And so they gave me him and his sister, Soot. And Soot will let me pet her too. But Blue is the absolute beautiful and very friendly and very nice duck. He's just the best boy. And he's, as you can see, he hasn't even touched his food, so I think he's depressed. I think he's sad. He'll probably eat that eventually, though. Oh, sorry, guys. Y'all don't want to see that. I hit the wrong button. That was an up close. All right, so I got to get everybody's food done. Oh, look, he's got his head in his food box. So I that box there is for him to, we put his food in there, so if it's raining, he can still eat without getting all wet. No cat tax today. Cat food tax? Yeah, it was already paid. He's been fed. Cat food tax has been paid. Paid in full. All right, let's get the food. Let's get the food set up. So the fermenting system that we have, at any given time, we have 2 buckets fermenting and then a fresh one that we work out of. And so we've got a little bit of food left over here. And so what I'll do with this is that will go for the Goose's food tomorrow. So I got to hose out this, just a quick rinse. I hear you, Big Bird. And then, let's see. And so then I just kind of rinse everything off into this bucket. And collect up. So, you know, the least amount of waste possible. So even just this little bit of food goes in for the Goose's food tomorrow. And then I've got this bucket here. So basically all of the buckets that I worked out of will go in there. And then I rinse off all of my scoops into here. And then there's a lot of corn in there still, but that's actually pretty much the perfect amount for their corn allotment for tomorrow. And so I just kind of got to rub my hand along here just to loosen up any of this stuff that's left over. I hear you, Big Bird. Give a quick rinse around the edge. And so these buckets here, they get a thorough cleaning. It depends on the time of year, much more frequently in the summertime, but when it's cool like this, just like once or twice a week, they get a thorough cleaning. But just a rinse out like I just did is really all it needs today. And so what I'm left with is a lot of water in that food, and I'll just cover that up, and that'll continue to ferment. And then tonight I'll put some grass pellets in there, and those will get soaked up. And so I need to rinse this lid off real quick. I went and bought the lumber. I need to replace all the lumber on this gate. That's a project for another day, though. Okay, so these over here. And then so I get a bunch of this is their grain food. It's got like oats and corn and soy and sunflower seeds in there. So I'll put some in here. Right now we're running 4 scoops. In the winter time we do 5 because everybody is hungrier in the winter. So that goes over there. And so this right here is their food. This has been fermenting for 2 days. Tomorrow when we use it, it will be 3 days. But I'll show y'all. You can kind of see it bubbling a little bit, but watch when I do this. Might have already been stirred. Oh no, so you see it's bubbling. You see all the bubbling? It's not super active because it's cooler out. When it's cool out, it doesn't get as active. Sometimes we have to actually let it ferment for 4 days. And then in the summertime when it's like 85, 90 degrees out all the time. So see, this is bubbling pretty good. Nowhere near as much as it does in the summer, but you can see all those bubbles popping up. But it's nowhere near as active as it is in the summer. It almost looks like boiling water in the summer. It's crazy. All right. And so all I got to do now is put water in there. Oh, it's the wrong setting. I'll be here all day with that. How old is that place? How old is what place? I'm not sure what you're talking about. The house I live in was built in 2002. I've lived in it since 2000. I bought it in the end of 2007, like in September, I think. And I bought it, it was in foreclosure, it was very dilapidated. It took me 3 months. I had to work on the house for 3 months every day after work. I would go out, I worked lawn care at the time, so I would work and do manual labor all day, and then I would come here and work until like 3 o'clock in the morning every day. And after about 3 months, I got it to a livable condition, and I moved in. All right, a little bit more. All right, and then grab this lid here, throw that on there. Okay, so there's that. And so the feed trailer stays open during the day because I like the cats to have access to it because it keeps mice from going crazy in here. Otherwise, it'll get overrun with mice and then it becomes an unhealthy environment. But we have to keep all of the feed either in these truck boxes or in these metal cans, which limits how much feed we can get at a time, which is kind of sucks because the feed place is like 45 minutes away. And that's why I've got a van full of food right now, is because I don't have anywhere else to store it that I can keep the mice out of it. All right, I think that's it. I think everybody's good. What's up, Goose? Oh, you know what? I have to feed the emus. Let's go feed the emus. I can't believe I almost forgot my girls. I'm sure they would be very happy to have something to eat. Is it this one? Yes. And my emu bucket. Let's see. That's about right. That's a little much, but that's okay. I don't know why that's in there. And then this is some extra calcium. I do give them calcium because both of my emus are females, and I like to make sure, even though they only lay eggs in the winter here for the most part. winter and spring, technically, they do lay through part of the spring. They need extra calcium. Emu food, I actually am lucky to be able to get actual emu food, but they make an emu breeder food, which is higher in calcium and better for them, but I can't get that unless I special order it from manufacturer, but that's cost prohibitive. So what I do instead is I just get their maintenance diet, which is affordable, and I just add in extra calcium. So, hey girls. Hey ladies. Look at my marigolds. Y'all see my marigolds right there? Oh my goodness, look at those marigolds. I love growing flowers, y'all. I don't really grow as many as I should, but I love growing marigolds. Hey emus. So this is Sam right here. Hey Sam. I hear the thumping. I hear that being sassy. Daggone bungee cord. Come on. Let's hook this closed. Last thing you want is an emu to escape. That is no fun on any level. It's like really sucks all around. They are not easy to catch up. They can run like 30 miles an hour. So this one we're following now, her name's Corona. These girls are 19 years old. And I've had them since the day they hatched. Hey, Corona. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate you. We have emus in Australia. Yes, we call them Australian war chickens. But yeah, that's where they're native from. That's where emus are from, is Australia. I couldn't imagine living in a place where they just run around like deer. That would be pretty cool. All right, so they ate all of their food from yesterday. So now they got a nice big full food bowl. Hey, Sam, I see you being spicy. Not too spicy. Sassy, I think, is the better term for her right now. She's not really being aggressive at all. Oh, what? You don't have any time for me today because I gave you the food. That's all she cares about. She wants to go get the food. She don't want me to mess with her because she knows there's food over there. That's okay. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. They can outrun me for sure. Yes, this is my place. This is, I run a nonprofit animal sanctuary from my home. We have about 3.5 acres of ground, and we care for about 70 animals here on the sanctuary every day. But these two girls are pretty cool. They're like big old puppy dogs, really. Like, the most popular emus online are emus that are like aggressive and put on a show, but the reality is most of them, if they're raised properly, are like this. They're calm. They don't get me wrong, they can enter crazy mode anytime, but they're usually pretty laid back. But they're birds, so they have a more primal temperament. And that, when like mating season comes around, they can get more aggressive, especially not so much towards me, but towards each other. I actually have to separate these two girls for about a month or two during the height of their mating season because they'll actually fight with each other over me, which is crazy. So like just the act of coming into their enclosure to feed them can get them all riled up and they'll start fighting with each other because I'm here. It's really crazy. But they've never been aggressive towards me in the over 19 years I've had them. And I really love them a lot. They're a lot of fun. What do I do with the eggs from the emus? So the emus, I blow the insides of the eggs out and I cook them and I feed them back to the birds. And then the shells I sell or I give away to, like, for example, the bird's vet. A lot of times when I have a new vet or something, I'll give them an emu egg shell. They usually appreciate that. Um, uh, but a lot of times I will sell them online for crafting, and I use the proceeds to buy more emu food because their food is about $35 per bag. And depending on the time of year, sometimes a bag of food can last, a week and a half. Sometimes they go through a bag of food in like 3 or 4 days. It's crazy. When they're in like a heavy feeding cycle, especially when they're coming right out of mating season, because they don't eat much at all during mating season. But when they come out of mating season, when we start getting into the later spring, they go through this very heavy feeding cycle where they're just eating a ridiculous amount of food. I almost can't even keep up with it. How did you end up getting emus? So a long time ago, long before I even thought about opening a sanctuary, I was what you would consider, I guess, a hobby farm. Um, we took most of our animals that we had were adopted still. So we were kind of a sanctuary, but just not official. We didn't seek outside funding, and we would also allow our animals to reproduce. And so we were essentially a hobby farm. And so I had chickens, and this was before I was a vegan. So I ate eggs, and I wanted organic chicken food so I could have organic eggs. And I had, this was 19 years ago, where there were no like mainstream feed supply stores around. All you had were these little farm stores, like Southern States farm stores and stuff. And so organic chicken food was not something that was easy to come by. But I had a friend who had a lot more birds, and she would just order the stuff right from the manufacturer in bulk. And so I would buy the chicken food from her, and she had emus. She had a half a dozen or so emus, and it was the coolest thing. I mean, it was the only place I'd ever gone and seen them in real life. And so one day I was over buying chicken food, and we were just admiring her emus. And I said to her, it would be really cool to have some emus one day. I'd love to have some emus. And she said, oh, don't worry, I'll hatch some out for you. And I said, oh, that'd be cool. And I just thought she was being nice. Like, it was just something she said. I didn't think she took it very seriously. It's really funny. So I didn't give it any further thought. And, emus only lay eggs in the wintertime. And so when I said this, it was like late summer or something like that. Excuse me. And so several months went by, like 5-6 months, something like that went by. We just didn't mention it again. I'd been to pick up food and all of that, but she just never said anything. And then one day, out of the blue, I get a phone call, and she's like, okay, come get your emus. I was like, what? But that's basically how it happened. So I went from having no emus and not being ready or prepared at all to having emus running around my dining room for a couple of months until I got them properly set up outside. You can imagine the chaos and mess, but also it was a great time. And this was before, you got to keep in mind, 19 years ago, this was before YouTube, before you could just look up how to do this and how to do that on YouTube. So we kind of learned as we went. We were very lucky, and we did not have any health issues, probably because they were of very good, healthy stock. And that's the story of how I ended up with emus. And they have been some of my favorite companions over the last 19 years. They're very nice animals and very unique. And they're kind of like, I've always been a bird guy ever since I was a little kid. Like, my first bird I got when I was like, I think 8 or 9 years old was a little cockatiel. And I've always just been fascinated by them. And so to have the opportunity to have essentially a dinosaur walking around my backyard is just really cool. Really cool. Sam, you're so beautiful. Look at that walk. So much sass in that walk. Where are they from? What's their story? Well, we just kind of went over that. So these guys were born in the United States, but originally, and they've been here. I don't know how long emus have been in the States, but it's been a long time. They have gained a lot of popularity over the last 10 or 15 years. More and more people who have property will keep them as pets. Um, but they originally come from Australia. They are ratites. They are in the same family as ostrich and rheas and cassowaries. And what is the other one? There's one that's really, is it the dodo? No, it's kiwis, I think. Kiwis are also considered ratites, I think. I know there's another bird that's really small relative to the rest of them. I'm pretty sure it's a kiwi that's considered a ratite. I'd have to look it up. Um, and so emus of course, are from Australia, and they have 3 toes on the front. Ostrich are from Africa, and they have 2 toes on the front. And a rhea is just like a really small emu. I don't know a lot. I think rheas are from South America. I don't remember for sure. I don't have any, so I haven't really educated myself on them. But I would absolutely add rhea to my flock. I think rheas are really cool as well. These emus are calm. Yes. Yes, these girls, I mean, I've had them their whole life. They're very calm with me around. Hey, Happy Life, welcome to the live. Emus are crazy. Farmers hate them. Fence wreckers. Yeah, they are. I would imagine they don't have any problem taking a fence down. These girls really don't ever cause damage to their fence. They stay in their enclosure. The only time they've ever escaped, one time someone left a gate open. So it wasn't really their fault. And then another time we were taking some trees down on the property, and it just kind of freaked them out, and they just hopped right over their fence. Like it was no issue at all. And that was very difficult catching them that time. It took like 45 minutes. It was about almost 90 degrees that day. It was very hot that day, very humid. It was a very difficult day, but we were able to catch them. Yes, emu eggs are beautiful green, like a jade color. They kind of vary in color. Some are very dark. I get a wide variety of colors from these girls. Some can be super dark. Some can be just like this dark with light green speckles. Some can be completely light green, almost a bluish teal color. But most of them are, most of my eggs that I get from these girls are slightly on the darker side of green. Oh, you've got blown eggs? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll blow them out and feed the insides back to the birds. How long do they live? About 30 years in captivity, from what I've read. That's an approximation. It could be less, could be a little more. I'm hoping to get a really good long time out of these girls because a lot of people feed them just random stuff. Like they'll get like a meat bird feed is pretty common. That's meant for like raising turkeys and chickens for meat. Some people like make their own mix with like rabbit food and dog food and stuff like that. But I actually spend extra and buy a food that is formulated specifically for emus to mimic their natural diet. And so I'm hoping to get longer out of them. However, these are also both females, and with birds, the females have that added threat of egg production that can always cause more problems than like a male would have. So what I'm hoping is they have started to slow in their egg production. Like 5 or 6 years ago, I would have gotten an egg every 3 days out of each bird. And now I get like an egg every 5 or 6 days. So I'm hoping at some point they reach a point in their life where they just stop producing eggs entirely. I wish they would do that now. But we just kind of have to see. That's why I supplement their feed with calcium every day, even when they're not actively laying, because I use their off season to help build up their calcium reserves. Because if they don't get enough calcium in their diet, their body will actually rob their bones of calcium. It'll take calcium from their bones to make the eggs. And so you don't want that, because a leg injury in an emu is almost always fatal, just because, there's no way to really restrain the bird. Not to mention, I don't have a vet. There's no vet. I've even reached out to my local zoos, and they couldn't even tell me of anybody in my area that will work with an emu. So if something were to happen to them, I'm pretty much on my own. It's very frustrating. I've looked and looked and looked, and I just can't find anybody. Not anybody within like 3 or 4 hours drive. Like nobody. But we've just been very blessed and very lucky. I'm walking over here. I'm superstitious. Very blessed and very lucky, knock on wood, that they've always been healthy. Sam does not produce good eggs anymore. She doesn't produce a shell at all. And I did the limited testing I could do. I did a stool sample to make sure she didn't have any parasites. She's not symptomatic of anything else. She's been like this for years. She could just have a defect in her reproductive tract somewhere. I supplement her food with calcium all year long, but she just lays the inside of the egg and sometimes a membrane, and that's it. She doesn't actually produce a shell. And I talked to a couple of vets, and they were like, well, it could be parasites or it could be some kind of infection. But because, there was no way for us to test for the infection, but I was able to get a stool sample and send that off, and she did not have any parasites. And since she doesn't have any other symptoms, she has a healthy appetite and her stool was fine. I'm assuming she just has some kind of problem with her reproductive tract or something. I don't know. But she does fine otherwise, thankfully. Platypus are pretty cool. Those are really cool. Don't they have like venomous, like these little spurs or something on their legs or something that's actually venomous? But that's really cool. I always thought platypus were some pretty cool critters. I like otters too, if we're talking about water animals. I really like otters. I think they're cool. When I was younger, I volunteered at a wildlife sanctuary. So we are a farmed animal sanctuary, but I volunteered at a wildlife sanctuary, and they had a beaver there that was really cool. It was a permanent resident because it had head trauma, but she was a really neat little critter, and she would just come right up to you, and you could pet her, and she was pretty cool. Do I plan to have boys to match them? I do not. So the need for a rescue or a sanctuary for an emu is not very common. I'm not saying that I wouldn't accept one if one found its way to me, but I've never had anyone reach out wanting me to take an emu. That's a big ask just because the cost per bird on an emu just in feed is very high compared to a lot of the other birds I have. These guys also require much more effort with fencing. Fencing is very expensive, and you see my fence is mostly just hodgepodge of stuff that people have donated that's tall enough. This section of fence here is actually an old kennel that I unrolled and set up with a bunch of T-posts. A chicken costs $5 or $10 a month to feed, and somewhere around that much in straw a month, probably $5 of straw a month, give or take. So it's roughly $15 a month to care for a chicken. That's a rough estimate. Might be something closer to $12 a month, but all of my chickens on my Patreon are $15 to sponsor because, you have other odds and ends. I have to buy zip ties, and I have to, buy tarps, and I have to provide veterinary care. So that extra $3 or $4 a month just kind of goes into the general fund. But an emu that eats, these two emus can, in their heavy feeding time, can empty a 50-pound bag of food, and as little as 3 or 4 days times $35 a bag of food, which is, the food varies in cost, but it generally bounces between $30 and $35 a bag. As you can imagine, that can add up very quickly. So I'm not really looking. I heard one of the birds up here make a bunch of noise. We're going to go back up and check on everybody. But I'm not really looking to add to my large bird flock. Some things I would love to get at some point. I would love to have a facility for some peafowl, like peacocks and peahens. I think that would be really cool. That's something I've had the opportunity to adopt peafowl several times, but they wander. These are the type of birds that wander off. So you need to have an actual large aviary set up for them. And I'm actually in a position now where I might, the next time I have the opportunity, I might actually take that on. But that and some swans, But right now, between funding and space, the only thing we really take on are things that I can integrate into our existing flocks. Because each one of these, to keep everybody safe from predators, they all go into a kennel at night. And, each one of these kennels costs about $800 or $900 just for the kennel. Not to mention I need the space for it. And so it's very difficult to raise that amount of money. So that also keeps us from expanding too much. But that's okay because there's also the time commitment. Every day, it's about 3 to 4 hours of time for myself and my mother, who is my partner in the sanctuary. I don't know why I'm latching that. And so that's every day. And we both have to hold down normal jobs in order to make up the deficit and to support ourselves. And so every animal you take on is another time commitment too. That's one of the hardest things about running the sanctuary, is turning animals away, because we have to turn animals away pretty much a couple of times a week. We have somebody reach out to us. And we do have a network of sanctuaries that we work with. So we don't just say no. We actually will refer them off to people. And then if it's something that we can just easily integrate, we will take that on. With Mr. Pip, we thought he was just going to be a regular chicken. We didn't know he was going to be a bantam. So looks like I might have a house rooster now, because he's not really going to fit in out here. Who is this? Is this Cheeks or Karen? This is Cheeks. Hey, Cheeks. Hey, Cheeks. I couldn't tell from your tail if you were Karen or Cheeks. Very similar coloring. Ask the lady who... Yeah, I probably should. I don't know if she ever has a vet come out for them or not. What is a yowie? Yeah, we do rely on donations, but you know, I mean, I live very frugally, and I'm very happy with that lifestyle. So you know, I don't take trips. I don't eat out. I don't buy fancy clothes. I don't buy toys or anything like that. These are my recreation. This is what makes me happy. So I don't mind funding a lot of the sanctuary myself. It is nice to have help though, especially when we have veterinary costs. That because most of the time a veterinary cost is not something you plan for. You just try to have a slush fund for when it happens. Otherwise, it all goes on credit cards, which is no fun. Oh my goodness, look at these guys. Look at these guys, so beautiful. So beautiful. Is the water still running? Oh, look, they're checking out their new pool. Look, they're in their new pool. They're like, yes, we approve of this new pool, human. We don't care for the slide, though. I see you, you goober. I love these geese. This is Flip Flop right here. Flip Flop. Hi, Flip Flop. Hi, Flip Flop. You see how he comes to me? Hi, Flip Flop. Oh, you are the handsomest guy. Okay. Come on. You are the most handsome guy in town. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Flip Flop. Yes, sir, Flip Flop. Yes, you are beautiful. Hi, Flip Flop. Yes. You have a messy face. You have been eating. Hi, Flip Flop. Hi, Flip Flop. Hi, baby. Look at that tail waggle. He's such a good boy. You're such a good boy, Flip Flop. Yes. Yes, sir. Look at those flip flops. That's why he's named Flip Flop. He was a very awkward walker when he was a baby, and that's why he got the Flip Flop name, because his walking was very exaggerated. He was a difficult hatch. His egg had been abandoned. Again, he's from before sanctuary time, and his egg had been abandoned and gotten completely cold, and he was too weak to hatch himself. I actually manually hatched him, and so he had splay leg, and he was very difficult to get up and going. But once we did, he's a very strong boy now. You wouldn't know it by looking at him that he was a sick baby. But he's a very strong, handsome boy now. And he is the best boy. Flip Flop, you are the best boy. Yes. And then Elizabeth, of course, is our most popular resident by far. She is responsible for the vast majority of our subscribers. But as you can see, she's a pretty happy goose, cleaning up that wonky wing. That's a condition called angel wing, for those that don't know. And it occurs when it's a developmental deformity where the outermost joint of their wing bends in the wrong direction. And it occurs when they have improper nutrition as babies, when they're developing. Too many carbohydrates, not enough of specific vitamins and minerals can lead to that, which is why they say don't give birds bread, because it is absolutely really bad for them. It's not just someone trying to be a buzzkill. If you ever want to feed birds in a park, like geese or ducks or something like that, one of two things. You can either just go buy a bag of waterfowl feed at your local farm store, or you can, if you just want something cheaper and easier, just go to Walmart and buy a giant bag of frozen peas. Both are acceptable snacks and much better than getting a loaf of bread. Am I sponsored? I am not sponsored by any one specific company or person. We have companies that have donated. For example, I'll probably be making a post about it in the near future, but the Home Depot actually donated a very large shelving unit to us, which was very nice of them. Our local Home Depot, I think it's about a $400 shelving unit, which is nice because we needed something to help organize their medical supplies. We keep a large stock of medical supplies here for them, bandaging materials and medications, and then, like nail clippers and towels and zip ties, just supplies in general. So it's going to help us get more organized with that. Lowe's, the hardware store Lowe's has also donated. There's actually, I'll show you, Some of this fencing material here, I know it looks like a heap of junk, but it's actually good fencing material that I plan to use to put up some fencing along there when we finish that. There's a lot more work to do there. I don't know when we're going to get to finish that, but we're going to bring the emus out of that enclosure and bring that up here. Bring them up here closer. It's all part of the larger recovering of the barn project. It'll probably be next spring before it gets done. But maybe we'll get it done before winter. I don't know. So Lowe's has contributed a little. We've had companies that we've reached out to. For example, the van that we use to do all the running around on the sanctuary. That company asked to not be mentioned by name, but they donated a full set of tires for the van. And then they had them delivered to a local tire shop that also, they didn't do the work for free, but they did give us a significant discount on the mounting of the tires. So we received support that way. Tractor Supply is another company that has done a little bit of donating. Nothing crazy, but like this little cage here. Tractor Supply donated that little cage, and they actually donated 2 of those. So we've received some of that, and then, but most of our funding, I would love to get some kind of large sponsorship, but most of our funding comes from, like individuals. We have a Patreon, and we also have PayPal set up. If you don't like Patreon, we have PayPal set up to where you can make a monthly donation, an automatic. You just go in and say, hey, $5 a month or whatever. And it'll automatically charge your card or whatever. And it's the same with Patreon. And so we get about $200 per month of support that way, give or take. It depends on the month. We get new patrons. It's weird. It seems like every time I get a new patron, I lose a patron. So I don't know. But we get about $200 a month that way, which is helpful. And then we'll get periodic random donations. People will send us like a super thanks through YouTube. That's not the best way to donate just because the fees for that are very high. For example, if you buy a super thanks for this goes for any of your favorite creators or whatever. If you have an iPhone, Apple takes 30% off of the top. And then YouTube takes 30%. And so what we end up with, if you donate $10, we get between $4 and $5 of that. And then YouTube's policy is you have to have a minimum of $100 balance in order to withdraw. So we actually have received a lot of super thanks since I enabled that a couple months ago, but we haven't been able to use any of it because it's just sitting in the account. Because after all of the fees are taken out, it hasn't reached $100 yet. And then we'll get a random, I always have a GoFundMe campaign going that people can use if they want to use that. So we'll get the occasional GoFundMe donation or random Facebook or Instagram donation. But, our operating costs without vet bills are around $600 to $700 per month, to give y'all an idea of what kind of funding we get versus what we spend. But luckily, whenever we have, oh look, there's Kitty. There she is right there. Whenever we have a significant vet bill, our community typically rallies. It has been very difficult to get donations the last year, just I guess with the economy the way it is. But if we're in a tight spot and we have a huge vet bill or something, our community usually rallies. It might take me a month or 2 to cover it. But it's just really nice to have that extra help when we really need it the most. Where's Milkshake? Here he is. Oh, look, we're going to see Milkshake, but I don't know if this is Cupcake or Alabaster. I can't tell. They're pretty much identical, but Cupcake has a band on her leg. She's looking at me too. She's like, what are you looking at? Holiday, are you coming to mess with this chicken? She's just taking a dirt bath. Leave that chicken alone. He's like, I don't care about the chicken. I'm coming over to see you, human. Be nice to that chicken, Holiday. She's a nice lady. Holiday, do you need all of the attention to be on you all of the time? What predators do I get? So fox, raccoons are the two primary predators we have to deal with. Birds of prey are a concern, but with all of the geese are actually a very large deterrent of that. So it is very rare that we have to deal with birds of prey. But it is something you have to watch out for. But like I said, the geese just being in the general area are enough to deter birds of prey. Usually, anyway. Unless you get like a younger hawk or something that hasn't quite figured it out yet. Sometimes the younger, more inexperienced birds will come down and try. It doesn't usually end well for them because the geese will attack them viciously. So that's a nice thing that I don't have to worry about that too much. And then secondary predators would be things like possum. Possums are not generally a threat, but they can kill a chicken. Oh my goodness, Marmalade, you're so noisy. So that's the male guinea fowl call. That's what the males sound like. The girls do not make that noise. They make a very different noise. And so then there are odds and ends like, dogs. If someone's dog gets out, luckily we haven't had to deal with that in a very long time. We did have to deal with it for a while, but we had to get authorities involved, and eventually we were able to get that taken care of, and we haven't had an issue with it since. Then you have, like, if we ever have a young animal, like, these ducks that we have over here now were babies. When we got little Miss Peach, we got the day she hatched. And then Bonnie and Clyde were only a day or two old when we got them. And they're in there right now. And so we can't leave them outside, especially in the summertime, until they're full grown, because we do have black snakes. So that's a predator that we can't really predator proof an outside cage for very easily. They're not really a threat to our full grown birds, but we do have to be mindful when we have babies on the sanctuary. And so luckily that's mostly it. We do have coyotes in the area, though it's very, very rare that you will see a coyote around people. They stay pretty much in the woods. I've only seen one in the entire time I've lived here since 2007, 2008 timeframe. And then that's about it. That's it for predators. We don't have to deal with like mink or weasels, thankfully, because those are very difficult to predator proof for. Don't have any bears or anything like that. So we're pretty lucky that, predator proofing is not too difficult. Yes, Cheeks and Karen. Let's go find the Karen, one of the Karens. So this is Raven. Raven is a sweet girl. She's a very nice hen. And then there's Barbie. Barbie was actually named by one of our patrons. And she's a very nice hen as well. She's very beautiful. She is a buff, like Friendly. She's the same breed of chicken that Friendly is. But anyway, we were going to go try to find a Karen. Who knows where she is? They tend to make themselves scarce. Poor Anthony. He wants to get in with Marmalade so bad. But Marmalade's a big old bully. He'll pick on him. Let's see. Okay, so this is Cheeks over here. See, there's Cheeks. She's hunting for some most delicious bugs. Aren't you, girl? She has floofy cheeks. That's why she got named Cheeks. Turkey Lurkey's in here, and there's Flower. That's Flower right there. So I'm guessing that Karen must be over on the other side with the geese. I'm thinking. They like to get up underneath all these trees here. Oh no, here's a Karen behind Scarlet right there. Karen's kind of right there. Hey, Karen. Pretty girl. She's beautiful, isn't she? Scarlet's very pretty. Scarlet is the same kind of chicken that Rudy is. She's the same breed as Rudy. I'm wondering if I'm supposed to let Peach out with everybody else now. What's funny is Peach isn't even the one making all this noise. It's Rosemary out here making all this noise. Are we having a pool? Oh, zoomies. Zoomies. That was cool. Oh, Rosemary. Is this a duck party? Is this a duck party in here? Oh, did y'all see the zoomies? Clyde just did big time zoomies in the water. That's beautiful. I love that when they get completely under the water. They'll go completely underwater and swim around really fast. Oh, you're so handsome, Clyde. Why are you trying to take a bath on the land? You a crazy man. You too, Bonnie. Why are you taking a bath in the on the straw? Rosemary, stop talking all that trash. You're so noisy, Rosemary. Talking all that trash. She's like, I don't like these other ducks. Come here. I'm going to let you out. You've had enough time in there. Come on, Miss Peach. Plus, you don't have any food or water anyway. Come on out. You going to come out or do I have to grab you? Bigfoot. Y'all, I got a funny story. I'll tell y'all in a minute about Bigfoot. Come here. Okay, my goodness. Oh, the goodness. Oh, the goodness. Look at you. Look at you. See how big Miss Peach is? Can y'all believe how big she is? Okay. Don't go in there. I'm closing this. I don't want you to get cornered in here. Clyde, that's not nice. You're so mean to her, Clyde. So there are 4 females in here right now and 1 male. So they should be fine, but they're just working out a pecking order, really, is basically all that's going on. Okay, so Bigfoot story. I don't know how many of y'all are South Park fans, but I managed to convince my nephew that Man Bear Pig was real and he lived in the woods. And one day I sent him up. We have the property's gated. I sent him up. It was nighttime to close the gate. And I snuck up in the woods and I went oinking out of the woods at him. Scared that kid to death. That was my uncle duty, though. It's my uncle duty to do that kind of stuff, right? It was so funny, but he legit, I was laying the groundwork for that for months. Like, I would tell him about Man Bear Pig and I would show him pictures. And then one day they sent me a picture of all of the kids, there's 8 of them, sitting on a log pile. And so I photoshopped Man Bear Pig in behind them. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know y'all knew Man Bear Pig. And then after that, they were sold. They believed in Man Bear Pig. I was like, yeah, I can't believe y'all got a picture of Man Bear Pig with you. And then after that, so whenever they would go outside now, I was like, all right, but just don't go up in the woods. You got to watch out for Man Bear Pig. That's a South Park thing, which they're not allowed to watch, but still really funny. Okay, so Yowie is Australian folklore. Okay, I see what you see there. You mean by Bigfoot? Okay, I gotcha. That's pretty cool. Yeah, see, that's something that I wouldn't know, not being Australian. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. Bigfoot. Or sometimes I tell the kids to watch out for the Jabberwocky. That's all the same thing, basically. Hey, Raven. Pretty girl. Where'd she go? Sorry, I was reading comments and I lost track of the chicken I was looking at. All right, let's go back over and see the geese for a minute. I'm all done out here. I'm just hanging out with y'all now. Sure beats what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing bookkeeping for my business, catching up on some bookkeeping work that I've been neglecting. I get to go meet with my accountant on Monday, which is always a blast. Yes, Flip Flop is the name of the sanctuary, but it's also the name of one of my geese. The sanctuary was named after Flip Flop the goose. What? Y'all think I got snacks? I don't. You look. You got bowls full of snacks. I don't have anything for you. I hear you, Onyx. Hi, Henry, the most handsome goose man. Oh yeah, I never did go shut the water off. Oh yeah, so this pool's giving them something to swim in. You see, this one's almost empty because it's got so many holes in it. I really need to go shut the water off though. Oh yeah, the park feeding PSA. Yeah, I try to bring that up whenever we get to talking about that kind of stuff. See, I got all kinds of fencing stuff. I got all these T-posts here just waiting to put a fence up. But I got to get the rest of the property cleaned up before I can do that. Yeah, Cheerios. You want to stay away from that kind of stuff, and stick with something that's a little closer to their natural diet. You know, peas would be good. They've got more protein in them. They do have some carbs in them, but it's not as bad as giving them like bread and whatnot. We actually will feed green peas as a snack in the summertime. We give them frozen. They give it to them frozen to help cool everybody off in the summer. So what about grants? So we're working on that. Grants have very specific requirements. We have a friend, actually one of our board members works for a company that helps with grants. And so she was looking into that for us. I don't know what's come of it. I know there's some stuff that we need to do still. You know, for one of the requirements we recently met, you got to have at least 5 board members, which we do. We have 5 board members now. So we are moving in the direction to be able to qualify for that kind of thing. But we haven't done anything like that yet. You hate snakes. I really like snakes. I mean, they're just another one, just another creature, you know? I mean, I look at all animals as a soul, as a sentient living being. I don't care what package they come in. I understand that, you know, having a snake kill your dog is absolutely horrible. I can certainly understand that causing you to hate them. But they are just doing what their nature tells them to do. I don't anymore. It was a learning curve having a snake take out and kill one of my baby guinea fowl. And then I learned from that experience and how I don't leave any babies out. But that didn't make me hate snakes. Same with the raccoons. Raccoons are very annoying. And fox, I don't like them at all, but I try not to hate them because they're just doing what, what their nature is. I hate that has to be their nature, but it's not their fault. It's not like they have the capacity to go and eat grass. They are made to do that. And it is my responsibility to keep the animals safe. It is not their responsibility to not eat my animals, if that makes sense. So any loss to a predator is a failure on my part. Oh, you saw the zoomies? Cool beans. Yeah, Man Bear Pig. I love Man Bear Pig. I love South Park. I grew up on it. Stuff cracks me up. Sometimes it gets a little bit much for me, but most of the time I really enjoy it. Oh yeah, when the kids are here, we have a blast. They're all getting older now, though. I miss when they were little and they would fall for pretty much anything I would say. Now they're on to me. They're wise to me. But I love being an uncle. My oldest nephew is, well, he's going to be 16 in not too long, but he's 15. And then I have twin nephews that are 13. And I got a nephew that I think is 12 and a niece that is, I think she's like 11. I can't keep track of all their ages. And I've got another niece and a couple more nephews. I got a lot of nieces and nephews. I absolutely love it. I love being an uncle. All right, I guess that's it for everybody today. Let me do a quick check on these ducks before I go in. Are you guys behaving at all? Oh, Miss Peach is hiding. She hiding. All right, I guess I'm gonna leave y'all like this. We left them like this yesterday and they were fine, so. Okay. It's funny that Rosemary is the one that's making all the noise though. Oh, Cookie, I gotta put Cookie up. Ah, I can't believe I almost forgot that. He'd probably be fine. There's nobody out here that would mess with him. But if a predator came on the lot, there's nothing he could do to get away. Are you over here talking trash to Milkshake, Cookie? Huh? Are you over here visiting with Milkshake? Hockey monster? I got you, boy. Look, come over here. Here's your snacks. There. There's your snacks, man. You hang out with Clucky. Okay. 4:40 a.m. in Australia Sunday morning. Oh, wow. You have 2 pythons. You can tell they are misunderstood. Yeah, I have 3 ball pythons I keep personally. So I don't keep very large snakes. Ball pythons are pretty small as far as snakes go. But I've had them for over 20 years. My oldest is like 25 years old. All right, let's go kill this water. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it for the day, for the live stream. I got to go get to work. I got to go catch up on some bookkeeping. I'm hoping to knock it out today so I can actually have a day off tomorrow. Look, these are my nasturtiums. I got some flowers out of my nasturtiums this year, but not a lot. But they have very pretty leaves. I really like the leaves. I grew them from seeds. They're very hard to grow from seed. And then my tomatoes also did not do great this year. This is a broccoli plant that's gone to bloom. Actually, the whole garden didn't do great this year, really. I think we got too much water. These are all watermelons. They never produced any watermelons, but they are pretty to look at. I did get a lot of tomatoes, but they didn't do anywhere near as good as they usually do. My cucumber plants have gone bonkers. I've gotten more cucumbers than I can deal with. Look at these marigolds, y'all. Aren't these crazy? Beautiful. This is my favorite color is orange. So I absolutely love them. And I can smell them from here. They smell so good. I actually harvest my own marigold seeds every year. So this is actually like a 3rd generation plant. These are from 3rd generation seeds here. And I get, so just this one patch of marigolds will produce thousands and thousands and thousands of seeds for me. I wonder why my cucumber plant is over there all wilty all of a sudden. Look at these though. These are blooming gorgeous. Oh, spider web. Goodbye. Why are you all wilty? You shouldn't be wilty. I fed you a couple days ago. I mean, they do tend to wilt in the middle of the day when it's hot out. I don't see any bugs on it. We'll see. That's supposed to be a serpent melon. So that produces a cucumber that will be about 3.5 feet long, which is pretty cool. And then these are all gherkins. But I mean, you can eat them, but I don't really like them. And this is like overripe. These are no good to eat anyway. But they look like, here, I'll show you a ripe one. They look like little miniature watermelons. And you can eat them in like a salad and stuff. I just think they look really cool. Do you see all them cucumbers? I've been giving my neighbors cucumbers all year like crazy. I can't get rid of them. I have so many. It's like squash. All right, let's see. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on the live stream. I guess that's it for the day. I got to go get to work. So I'll see y'all later. Have a great rest of your weekend.